The Minnesota Vikings have possibly one of the greatest amounts of depth, or one of the greatest, deepest. They've got one of the deepest running backs in the NFL. Let's put it that way. Obviously, you got Dalvin Cook leading the charge. He's probably going to play another, at least another season with the Vikings, maybe two. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of his contract. I think this is his last year in terms of guaranteed money, and I just. I know that Rick Spielman and company, love their running backs, but I mean, the NFL really isn't paying these running backs top dollar anymore. And it is what it is. They bring these guys in, they have guys play a couple of seasons, they go into the fourth round draft a running back, and then that's the future at the position. I mean, that's just the way this NFL is going. So, and then obviously you've got Alexander Mattison in the last year of his rookie contract. So obviously there's a lot up in the air after this season for the Vikings. Enter into the chat both Minnesota Vikings running backs that have been drafted in back-to-back years. Kene and Knangwu, I know I'm probably not even saying that close to correct, and Ty Chandler. Now, obviously, it's going to start out with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. We already talked about it. Those two guys probably are going to just, they're going to shore up the running back. They're going to get most of the carries, obviously. But Kene and Knangwu adds a lot. Ty Chandler also adds a different element to this offense as well. So when you take a look at this, and by the way, I love Alexander Mattison. That man's a stud, too. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to play one more solid year for the Vikings, and he's going to get a shot somewhere else. Unfortunately, because I think he's going to test the free agent market and get a good amount of change somewhere else, probably $6-7 million a year, something like that. But anyway, and he's earned up to be a feature back in my mind. So, you talk about all these different running backs in the stable for the Vikings, and quite frankly, they should be in that the future. And let me be very clear. The future for the running back position in Minnesota is bright. Get your sunglasses out, because, you got, obviously, we talked about it, you got Kene and Knangwu, who had 13 carries for 61 yards and 4 catches for 9 yards for the Vikings last year, and then you look at his stats at Iowa State. I think he was behind Breece Hall in that depth chart for all 4 years, but, you got a guy that, honestly, he's fast, he can return kicks, and I think he could be a little bit of a mismatch down the line in the NFL. I think he's just his speed, his size. He is a little bit of a physical freak. So I'm excited for a guy like Kene and Knangwu, who's really never had a chance to start in college. I think he's going to come back, for the Vikings, and him and Ty Chandler, are going to do some great things. And speaking of a guy like Ty Chandler, we'll go, for a guy that was kind of the same deal for the first 4 years of his career. Splitting carries and whatnot at Tennessee, and being kind of and in some phases a feature back, but had over, it was kind of one of those guys that had over 2,000 rushing yards at Tennessee, 13 total touchdowns, and then he came back his is this considered a super senior year for the North Carolina, and had basically all of that. Except obviously the yardage. He had the same amount of touchdowns he did in one season as a Tar Heel as he did as a volunteer for his entire volunteer career. So had over 1,000 yards his senior year. Now, I think Ty Chandler probably would make an argument to be more of the starting back, and Kene and Knangwu might come off the bench. But the point is, you've got two guys in the stable right now that after this season probably are going to be your starting tailbacks, or at least have a good argument for it, or at least should have increased workloads, because these guys are studs. You talk about these guys, both run a sub 4.4, 4.3, both have the size, all of that you want. And again, they're not going to break the bank. So, and I think with the Vikings, who are going to probably look to take more of a leap towards pass blocking running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think that the Vikings got themselves a couple of good running backs that I think make the future very bright, specifically for that running back room. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com, or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Minnesota Vikings' future at running back, in that room being bright.